used Click Meeting before, so can you, I hope some of you can see me. I would appreciate a little yes or a no or any message to let me know that you can actually see me and hear me and see my screen. I see a very full room, so someone's going to, there we go. I see some messages coming through. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So we're starting this webinar in about 30 seconds or so. I just opened up the room so I can actually get a handle on this piece of software. So just before the webinar starts, as you can see, I'm in my home office because, like some parts of the world, I'm in lockdown. Yeah, I laugh about it, but it's quite sad. My internet home is pretty good. I'm in the USA. I'm in a little city called Austin, Texas. My internet's pretty good, but my kids are next door on their virtual schooling. uh, um, so, um, so yeah, there's a lot of people using my bandwidth at home, but I'm sure you all understand. Oh, hello from Colombia. I don't see the names there, but hello everyone all over the world. Okay, it is time for us to start, and the recording will start now. Welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Ilan Asbel. I am delighted to be invited to talk to you today by Axiori. Thank you for attending. I'll give you a quick intro about me and what we're going to be doing today in the webinar. So I'm one of the original founders of Autochartist. In fact, I wrote some of the code, the initial code that actually does some of the analysis. I used to use it for my own trading. I used to be a trader on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange many, many years ago. I obviously still do trade a little bit. I've been the CEO of Autochartist since 2008. I understand a lot, not only about the software itself, but also about trading. You can ask me pretty much any question, not only product related, but also about the markets, etc. Of course, I can't give you any advice. Of course, I'm sure you know that, but certainly I can talk very openly about trading strategies and different kinds of things. So today's webinar is one of, I believe it's a series of 4 webinars that we're going to be doing. Where today's webinar is just a very brief introduction to the Autochartist plugin on MetaTrader. Very, very brief and very shallow. So I'm going to try cover a lot of things in a very short space of time. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going in depth into each one of the topics individually over the course of the next few weeks in webinars specific to that to that topic, right? So just a quick bit of homework and legal before we get going. Hope you all can. I hope I've just changed my slide. If someone can give me an invitation, just let me know if you can see the disclaimer. You should see the disclaimer. The disclaimer, I'm sure you've seen it before. The most important thing to remember is trade responsibly. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Be responsible and diligent with your money you've worked very hard for. I'm sure you know this. Okay. So with that being said, let me switch to a different screen. Okay, and I'm going to show you now where to find the Autochartist download, right? So if you go into platforms and tools, under tools there is a link called Autochartist. You can click on that Autochartist link, and then towards the very bottom, it actually says how to use Autochartist. There's some tutorial videos and an installation guide on how you can install it. And on that installation link, there is a download link which you can use. And it's one of those simple things you just kind of click next, and things installs it onto your MetaTrader. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So one last thing before we get going. No one in this presentation is trying to pitch you anything or sell you anything. This product is free to use if you have a live funded account. So put your guard down. This is not a pitch session, a sales pitch session. We're just here to learn. Okay, so don't worry about filtering out the sales nonsense. All right. So, where to get going on Autochartist? Firstly, what is Autochartist? Autochartist is um, it's a mechanism to try identify what is actually going on in the markets at the moment, right? It's a mechanism to scan the markets for trade setups. Once you've gone over the through the installation wizard, you'll actually have a little expert advisor here called Autochartist, and you can drag and drop that onto your chart. But don't worry, although it's called an expert advisor, it's not. It doesn't trade on your behalf, so you don't have to worry about that. You just drag and drop it onto your window, and you'll see that almost immediately the window comes up with a whole list of trading opportunities. In fact, it looks like just about 2 pages of trade setups that Autochartist has identified. Okay, and we'll talk about each of the different trade setups in just a moment. But just to give an idea of what's going on here, right? So Autochartist will scan the instruments that you have opened in your market watch window, right? So that means that I have these kind of a dozen or so instruments, and so these are the ones that will come up in here. So if I remove, for example, gold from my list, then this gold item here in the middle of my screen will actually disappear, right? Because I don't have gold in my watch list, and Autocharter says, okay, if he doesn't have it in his watch list, he's not interested in trading gold, therefore don't present trading opportunities based on that instrument, right? And you can see on the left-hand side, there's little view buttons. So if I want to see what's going on, let's say on Euro Japanese Yen 4-hourly chart, I will click on it, and there I have it. So I clicked on Euro Yen 4-hourly chart. My chart changed to Euro Yen 4-hourly, and it displayed the channel down that I was expecting. Right, channel down that I was expecting here. You on Euro Yen, and then you can see there's a bullish breakout, which is the little green icon. And you can see a little target region. That gray area at the top over here on top right hand side is where the price, where the technicals say the price is going. And this is something that's very important about Autochartist. Autochartist is not some kind of black box system that comes up with its own forecasts and everything. Autochartist is actually, in principle, quite simple. It's simply an automation of chart pattern theory and theories of support and resistance. Okay, so if you open up any book on technical analysis, you'll find a chapter on support, resistance, technical chart patterns, Fibonacci patterns, these kind of ideas. That is exactly what Autochartist has automated, right? So when we say that this is the forecast region on the top over here, it's not me sitting in the back room in some back dark room eating pizza, drinking Coke, and coming up with a forecast. No, it's actually an automation of what the technical analysis theory says that the target is going to be, right? Um, and so we can click through all of these. So USD JPY 4-hourly. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, it looks like yen has broken through a resistance level at around 106,200, and we think the price is going up to around 106, close to 106,900. Okay, so that's the forecast move. There's some other interesting one. I'll click on the one on the top here, USD CAD, which you can see is actually a gray icon, and I'll show you why. We'll click on that. The gray icon means that the price has not yet broken through support or resistance. It's actually still moving in that direction. Okay, let me see if there's actually a drawing tool that I can draw with. I can't find one right now. I wish there was a drawing tool. But maybe I'll figure this click meeting out before the next webinar. So you can see the price is still approaching that support level, the blue line. And so this is a potential a trade short on USD CAD. And you can see that Autochartist identifies these trading opportunities around lots of different intervals, right? So actually at the very bottom of my list over here, I can see something on daily, on US dollar Swiss franc, on USD JPY. Let's see what's happening on US dollar Swiss franc. I click on that. As you can see, it's changed to US dollar Swiss franc daily, right? It was on the 4-hourly chart. And you can see that there was some kind of falling wedge and a breakout. Now the price is busy consolidating over here but again, the technical say because there was such a strong breakout, and you can see that this bullish candle was really, really big, it feels that there's a potential for it to go to that gray area on the top right-hand side. Okay, now you can of course filter for the kind of trade opportunities that you want to filter for. So if you click on that little filter icon, you can tell Autochartist whether to scan for technical chart patterns, Fibonacci patterns, key levels, which are the horizontal levels, big movements, consecutive candles, and on the different time intervals, right? So I don't look at M15s, I don't look at M30s. I'm looking at hourly, 4-hourly, and daily candles, right? So these are different options I have. Now, I will spend just a moment talking around what we call complete and emerging, or breakout and emerging patterns, just for one moment, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so once in a while you will see that you have icons which are gray. Gray icons mean that the price has not yet broken through support or resistance. You can see, let me draw using the MetaTrader drawing tools, how the price here of euro has not yet broken through this line. That means that the price is still what we call emerging, right? So there's a number of ways you can trade this. You can take a long position right now, okay, but it's a very, very short-term long position. Or you can set, for example, a buy stop, right? So somewhere at this level. So a buy stop, I'm sure you all know, if the price hits that red line, then it will continue, assuming there's a breakout, then the theory is it will continue up. If you don't believe that it'll continue if it hits that line, you can, for example, trade a sell limit, right? So if it bounces off that level, it can trade down. But these types of emerging patterns that have not yet broken through support or resistance, are extremely popular with the more advanced traders, the traders that are happy to take anything else than spot price orders, right? People that are looking to trade limit or stop orders in the market for almost, I call it a preemptive attack on the market, right? So if the price moves, you don't have to be reactive. You're already in the trade. You're already in the trade. You don't have to go and quickly scramble to figure out, what are your stop losses, what are your take profits, etc. Right? So that's an emerging pattern, and you get these gray icons not only for the triangles and channels, but also for support and resistance. So this is the same example as I showed you just a few minutes ago. You can see that the price has not yet crossed this blue line. It's still moving in the direction of that blue line over here, not yet crossed. Again, two ways of trading it. You could either trade short right now at the spot price, or if you believe if it breaks through and it's going to continue to go short, then you can set a sell stop at this price. Or if you think it's going to bounce if it hits this price, then of course you should set a buy limit order, right? So once it touches this price, it buys, and then you're long in the market automatically, right? So lots of different ways to trade these things, but I really, really love these emerging patterns. On the other side of it, of course, you have the breakouts, which I showed you before. Here's a breakout on USD JPY. Let's go to the first page and find something that's Euro Yen. Oh, I showed this one before. We kind of missed this one. This happened about 8 hours ago, it looked like. So we kind of missed this move a little bit. Would have been nice to actually catch this move earlier on. But anyway, bygones be bygones, right? Never regret missing a move. There's lots of other moves that you can find. Now, there's a few other interesting types of trading opportunities we identify. One of them is big movement. So here is an example on Euro Yen hourly chart. Now, this is very interesting. This is called a big movement, which means that the movement that Euro Yen hourly chart has experienced is what we call exceptionally large. It's an extreme move for this instrument. As you can imagine, every instrument has different kind of a different dynamic, right? So some trade a lot, some trade a little. It all really depends on the instrument. So we do all the hard work for you, and we would tell you that euro yen has had an extreme move over here. Let's see if there's any other big movements. There's actually quite a few big movements. Oh, more euro yen. Lots of euro yen big movements. Looks like a very popular today euro yen. Oh, I don't see any other big moves. Another one that I wanted to show you is consecutive candles. So USD CAD. Here we've identified, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive bearish candles on USD CAD, on hourly candles. So although it's not an exceptionally large move, it's still an exceptional amount of consecutive bearish candles that have happened on USD CAD. So anyway, I will let you play around with these things. There's a whole lot of settings you can really play with. The setup I've got here, which is breakout chart patterns, breakout key levels, and approaching key levels. In fact, without consecutive candles and big moves, those are the ones I personally look at. So this is kind of my my trade setup. A few other things which we'll discuss in more detail at another stage, because I've got some much more important things to show you before we go more in depth, is there's a web application you can use, and there's also performance stats. Now, performance stats is an interesting one. Performance stats is basically the past performance of all our analysis, um, uh, measured by how often we've hit our target region, right? So I showed you that little gray area, So basically these stats tell us how often in the last 6 months have we hit the gray area. Now, there's very important for me to reiterate the legals here. Firstly, past performance may not be indicative of future performance. So note that very important point. Okay. The second thing is that these stats don't show you how much money you would have made, right? It's not a return on ROI or anything. It's simply a measure of how often we've hit the target region in the last 6 months. And when you go into these things, so for example, we'll go into the Forex section. These are the horizontal levels. We show you on the 240s, we've hit them a lot, 87% of the time. And there's a breakdown by instrument. So you can see exactly which ones we've been doing well at, which ones we've been doing badly at. So Euro GBP, we've been doing really, really well at that one. Swiss franc ZAR, as you can hear from South Africa, so that one's been an exceptional one. So there's been quite a lot of good performers here on the key levels, but we will go into these in a lot more depth and I think it is our third or our fourth webinar. It's the most intensive and in-depth webinar that we talk about the past performance statistics for Autochartist. But I just wanted to highlight the fact that it's there. And lastly, when you first install the Autochartist plugin, you'll actually get asked to put your email address in. And what happens then is you're automatically subscribed to get a daily email. Now, don't worry, no one's going to spam you with any sales nonsense. It's simply a daily email coming to you in the morning that gives you a longer term view on what's going to happen in the market. Okay, so it's like a 24 to 48 hour view. If you don't like it, you can simply click the unsubscribe button on the bottom of that email that you're going to get. If you like it a lot and you want more of it, you can actually choose to get them up to 3 times a day, right? So I normally get my reports before the US session. In this one, I happen to be subscribed to the European session. Because I live in the USA, I subscribe to my report before the opening of New York, right, which is the US session. Okay, so these are just a very, very brief overview of what the market scanner presents you. I wonder if there's any questions on that. I see hello from a lot of other places, from Oman, Nigeria, Philippines, but I don't see any questions coming through. Maybe I'm talking too quickly because I've got a lot to get through as an overview. If I am talking too quickly, tell me to slow down. All right. So I want to show you what I think is probably one of the most powerful tools that we have at Autochartist, and that is not about market timing. It's about risk management. Now, what you will see on the left-hand side, you can see on my screen, I not only have the Autochartist Expert Advisor, which is really the market scanner, but I also have the Autochartist Risk Calculator in my indicator section. If I drag and drop that onto my chart, I get this cute little widget here called the Autochartist Risk Calculator, right? And along with it comes a little orange line that I can move up and down. Now, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I want you all to clear your minds because I'm just going to blow your minds with this tool. All right. Now, one of the most common mistakes I see that novice traders, especially retail traders, please don't take offense, but retail traders do is one of the biggest problems is that they don't understand that different instruments give them different exposure in the market. For example, trading one lot of Euro USD is not the same as trading one lot of gold. It's not the same as trading one lot of USD JPY. Trading one lot of each of these, right, gives you different market exposure, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that a lot of the time, traders set their stop losses based on how much money they're willing to lose. So, for example, if I want to trade Euro USD, okay, and let's say I want to go long on this current I want to go long right here at the current price, and I don't want to risk more than $50. I would set my risk, my stop loss to be here at 50 pips away from the current price. Now, that is actually the wrong way to trade. Now, bear with me. Don't say, "Oh, this guy's crazy, doesn't know what he's talking about." I'll tell you what professional traders do. Professional traders set their stop loss according to some kind of trading dynamic. For example, one could say that a reasonable stop loss for Euro USD at this time of day, because of the upcoming volatility in the the volatility that's upcoming in New York or London or whatever time of day you trade, or the day of the week, maybe it's double swap day or something like this. I would look at this and I would say, okay, euro dollar, if you forced me to go long on euro dollar right now, I would trade it here. Why? Because I see consolidation at this level in the past, in the recent past, just in the last few hours, half a day ago, before that, I see consolidation at this level all the time. So I would say this is a good place to set a stop loss. But this is only risking, what is it, 20 pips or so, right? The thing is, though, is that professional traders set their stop losses where the market dynamics tell them to set it, and then they set their volume according to how much money they want to risk, right? So, for example, if I'm only willing to risk $50 on this trade, I should be placing a position of size 0.29 lots or 0.3 lots. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. If I choose my stop loss position, and then I choose my amount, well, in euros, in this situation happens to be in euros because my account is euro. Let's say I want to trade, I want to only risk $50, then I should set a position of only 0.28 or 0.3. So that means I would do this. I would set this to a stop loss of the price where I set it to, and I would set my position to 0.3, and then I would buy market. So now watch what I've done. That was an easy one. I set a long position on Euro USD, and Euro USD is a nice simple one, right? Because it's $10 a pip or $1 a pip, depending on the account type that you have. Now, and that's on a 1 hourly chart. Let's say I want to trade something a little bit more interesting, USD JPY. Okay, I'll look at my USD JPY chart, and let's say I switch to a 30-minute chart. Okay, my 30-minute chart, USD JPY. Let's say I want to go long on this one too, right? Just for arbitrary sake. And I see consolidation at this level. So I'll set my position, my stop position over here. And I want to risk only $50. Aha, notice how my position is not 0.3 like it was in Euro USD. My position is 0.5. And here I'm only 11 pips away. So now what I'm doing is I'm going to set my stop loss, and I'm going to set my position size to be 0.5, and I'll buy at market. Notice what I've actually done. I have traded Euro USD long on the hourly chart with I think it was a 20 pip stop loss, and I've risked $50. And I've traded USD JPY 30-minute chart on an 11 pip stop loss and only risking $50, right? Watch what I've done. What I'm actually doing is changing my position size to make sure that my risk exposure is managed, right? It's not about the pips. It's about the dollars and cents, right? That's something very, very important that you need to understand. And more than that, the volatility in the market is constantly changing. You should set your stop loss in relation to the dynamics of the market, not for your risk. What you do to manage your risk is change your position size, right? That's very, very crucial and important. I hope you all understand what I'm trying to say to you. It's a bit of sometimes a foreign concept, but we'll be going into a lot of depth into this kind of strategy in the future, specifically around risk management. In fact, Autochartist goes one step further. If you click this little show expected trading ranges button, oh, I don't seem to have it on that. What's the error here? Oh, that's rather disappointing. Let's see if I can see it on Euro. Let's see what's going on here. I should be able to see a little button. Oh, hang on a second. I want to show you something else. It should come up on my risk calculator, but I can actually make it come up on my other chart. Let me get rid of these trades. Close order. Oopsie. Let me close order. Close both my orders. Okay, so I've closed both my orders. So we take it a step further. Not only does Autochartist allow you to manage your risk by helping you set your position sizes based on dollars and cents, but also we provide you with an understanding of where we think the price is going to be for the next hour, 4 hours, and 24 hours. You can see these little lines on the right-hand side. You may have noticed them before, and I didn't say anything about them. But you can see it says next M30, next M30. This is the range in which we think that Euro USD is going to trade in the next 30 minutes. And H1, there's almost like a bracket, right, where we think it's going to trade in the next hour, then 4 hours, and then 24 hours. Now, what is this based on? I can tell you that these lines open and close as the day moves along. These things get wider, thinner, because, for example, when London opens, volatility on euro is huge. Same thing with New York. When Sydney opens and Tokyo opens, the volatility on the Australian dollar and the Kiwi are massive, right? But then later on, during the US session, maybe the volatility decreases. And so these levels open and close, increase and decrease their width based on the time of day and the day of the week. And we actually run these stats historically for the last, I believe it's 6 months of data, to make sure that you guys are getting the latest volatility analysis. So you have an idea. So let's say you wanna go have a cup of coffee with your mate or a beer with your mate, and you want to set your stop loss over here at this level. You want to go long, but the volatility analysis tells you, hey man, you're potentially gonna hit your stop loss in the next 30 minutes, right? But you want to go have a beer with your buddy, so this is not a good place, right? Rather set your stop loss further out, go have a nice quiet beer with your friend, relax, and then use the risk calculator to set your position size accordingly, right? So you don't risk more money than you're supposed to. Okay, so see how you can start using this volatility analysis or these expected price range movements to start fitting in with your lifestyle. Take a bit of the pressure off yourself when it comes to your trading process. Okay, my God, after 30 minutes, my brain switches off. So I hope you guys are all okay with only listening to me for 30 minutes. Now, I see there's some questions coming along. Um, uh, uh, I see there's some questions about the MT4 and other brokers. I can't speak about other brokers, but you get it for free with Axiori. So go ahead and download. If you have a free funded account, then you can use it with Axiori. Yes, so I think it's Ola. The font is a little bit small for me. Well, that's a real sign of my age. Ola, you asked, is this available for download? Absolutely. Let me quickly show you where it's available for download. If you go to the Axiori website and you click on Platforms and Tools, Autochartist, and there's a whole bunch of information about Autochartist, and you can click watch some video tutorials, or there's a button which says how to install. If you click on that, there's a download link, right? So yes, it is available for download. It doesn't cost anything. So there's a question about, does it analyze stocks? So the answer is that it analyzes everything in your MetaTrader. So if you show the symbols, if you have all these CFDs, stock CFDs, index CFDs, oils, and all of those, it will analyze everything that's in your MetaTrader market watch list. Okay. So there is another question about how do I use the risk calculator? How do I get to use the risk calculator? So when you go through the installation process from this download screen, when you download this installer, you'll go through the installation process and you go next, 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 next. Once it installs, the risk calculator will actually appear as an indicator in your MetaTrader, right? And then you can just drag and drop it. Actually, I think that you have to drag and drop the expert advisor first. I think it downloads a whole bunch of data, and then you can use the risk calculator. You can just drag and drop that onto your chart. So that's how it works. How to know take profit or short position? I'm not sure about what that question is. Who is that? That is Vinod, I believe. Um, I'm not quite sure what that question is asking, but maybe I can uh, drop my expert advisor on. So what the Autochartist market scanner does is that it tries to show you the market opportunities. So for example, this line item on Euro JPY 4-hourly chart says that we think the price is going to go long up to this gray area. This pennant over here, Euro CAD, I'll click on that, tells us that we think that Euro CAD is going to go short to this gray area here. But what I'm trying to tell you is that this is not an advisory service, right? This is an automated technical analysis service, right? So it's not Autochartist theory of trading, right? This is purely an automation of technical chart pattern theory and the theory of support and resistance, right? So this is where the theory tells you it's going to go. Okay, I'm not sure if I've answered that question. Yes. So there's another question about the performance stats. So if you have this thing open, the scanner open, and you click on this button here, you can click on performance statistics and copy and paste that into your browser. And you'll actually have the performance stats. So for example, if you look at technical chart patterns performance stats, it'll tell you what's been doing well or badly over the last 6 months. So over the last 6 months, head and shoulders and inverse head and shoulders have been doing really well. Rectangles, double tops, double bottoms, ascending and descending triangles have been doing really well. You even have a breakdown by instrument as to how often the price has hit the target region. The same thing for breakout key levels and the same thing for approaching key levels, right? So you got all the statistics for you available. I will be going into more details about this. I think it's in not the next webinar, but the following webinar. Just keep a lookout for these webinar topics, and we'll be going into a lot of details, just understanding how they're calculated, what they're useful for, what they're not useful for, right? And so we'll be discussing a lot of that. And actually, one of the main things we'll be discussing is how to um, evaluate certain trading opportunities based on these statistics, right? So we'll definitely be going into a lot of that in future webinars, but we have full disclosure on that. Yes, we will make this video available after this. Okay, I went over this. What do the pattern details window tell us? Okay, the pattern details window is actually just a little, let me close that down. Oh, okay. Anyway, the patterns details window shows us more information about this pattern. So this is a pennant. It's of length 29. That means it was made up of 29 candles. It's of bearish direction. There's been no trend change, and the quality is 7 or 8 out of 10. Quality means that the visual quality, and you can see that it's a very nice, neat uh, 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 pennant. Actually, it's very uniform in nature and clear, and the breakout is extremely strong. You can see that the breakout candle is extremely strong, right? Completed means it's broken out. It didn't actually pick up this initial trend very well, but it basically just gives you some more technical details about this chart pattern specifically. But as I normally like to say, that a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's support resistance very clear to see, and a breakout through the support level and a potential movement towards the forecast region on the bottom over here. Okay. With that, I'm 5 minutes over my allocated time. So I want to thank you for bearing with me and my super fast presentation. But I'm hoping that I have intrigued you enough to kind of join me in the next presentation, right? Um, so in the next presentation, we'll go into a lot more detail. I believe the next one is going to be around um, uh, setting actual trading strategies, whether you should be trading buy stops, buy limits, sell limits, spot positions, etc., using this technical analysis tool. And I believe the one after that is going to be around risk management and the risk calculator, and the last one is going to be performance statistics. I think that's the sequence in which we're going to be doing these webinars. So I hope that really you will join me. Again, this recording will be available very soon. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day from all over the world, right? From Asia to America, to the Americas. So thank you all for joining me. Have a nice day, and stay safe and stay healthy. Okay, that's the most important thing. Bye.